Hey guys, today I'm gonna walk you through how I painted a scene from a Studio Ghibli movie called Princess Kaguya. So this is done in watercolor and yeah, just basic watercolors. I'm not really gonna show my palette here because I mean the colors are very self-explanatory. They're not mixed. They're not really mixed too much. So yeah, I'm starting off with the lightest tones that I see, and I'm just building my way up from there. And the beautiful thing about this film and the way it was painted is it's not very detailed. It's they paint the gesture most of the time, and it's very impactful, even though it's just the gesture that they paint. And what I love about it is how vibrant it looks, because they're showing more of the canvas, more of the white canvas, which makes the colors even more vibrant. So yeah, that's a pretty cool thing about this. When I watched this movie, I was really just blown away by just the technique. It's beautiful. For this, in the image originally, it was the trees that I'm painting here that are warm, like a warm orange. It was pink first, but for some reason I couldn't mix pink for some reason. I don't know why. If you're not noticing in the comments, please let me know, because I guess just putting vermilion and whites, I guess that one makes like a proper pink. So I just went with the next best thing. I just painted made it orange to like sort of contrast with the cools in the background. And yeah, also one more thing, so the things that are in the distance, I'm giving it a more like atmospheric look, so I'm painting them with more blue, a blue mixture. And the things that are like in the foreground and just closest to the viewer, it's warmer, because in nature, that's how nature works. And yeah. Cool, next day. I'm going on to the second layer. The most important thing is to wait for it to dry completely before you move on. Or if you want to go for more like wet on wet, or more let's say more like blurry effects, like let's say if you're doing something that is out of focus, it's that you can do like wet on wet. For this particular style, I think it was best for me to just wait for it to completely dry. So the paper I used is 130 GSM, which it's thin paper, especially for like a watercolor piece, but I think that really works well for the Studio Ghibli style, because it's not very detailed, and it's not very detailed. So putting a lot of water is I'm not really gonna work too much on it. So yeah, so that's another tip, guys. Don't if you're a beginner, it's best to use paper that is not 130 GSM, like maybe 180, or even more, like I think there's 350 now. But yeah, just use thicker paper, especially for watercolor. Yeah, do not skimp out on watercolor. paper. On paint, you can skimp out on it. You can get cheaper paint, especially if you're beginning. But paper, you cannot do that. Also, you will just hate the process, and yeah, it's just not a very good thing to do. So for this piece, most of the detail is in the middle of the painting, and as it spreads out, there's less and less detail, which is pretty cool because that it guides the viewer's gaze into like the middle of the painting, which is, you know, the focal point where these three kids are, you know, walking by the cliff. When it comes to watercolor, I think the less detail you put, the better, and the more suggestive you are and intentional, the better. Which is why I think it's an amazing medium, especially you know, for any artist really. You know, if you're an artist that that's addicted to detail, which trust me, I am. It's very interesting to see how, you know, Studio Ghibli uses less, but it still impacts, you know, it still has great impact. You might argue that it has even greater impact, like in the storytelling, which is very interesting to me. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video and you learned something new, please like and subscribe, and then also let me know if you are painting along and, you know, how the painting went for you. And if there's any questions, please let me know in the comments. And yeah, until next time, this has been Dill's Art. Peace out.